Hey, hey, hey! It's that time again. The time for QX to fix his car stereo. No, 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 no. It's time for another weekly AMA. And I am Dan Friedman. And with me, I have QX, who claims that he is in Italy, although I have a suspicion that he's actually broadcasting from a Home Depot in probably Long Branch, New Jersey.
You're pretty close, actually.
Yeah, West Long Branch.
No, yeah, I'm here. I'm across. It's 3:07 right now, Dan. What time is it there?
Well, what time is it where? In New Jersey? You should know. You should look at your clock.
Oh, well, that's minus 3 hours from noon. So that's can you do math? 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I think you've already done enough math. No, it's 11. It's 11:08 right now, and 11:08 at night. Just when you're on your fifth beer, usually. Yeah. So let's talk Ergo, because that's what we're here for. And I get to look at you enough throughout the week, not to have to keep just spend another hour. Just spend another hour. We got a lot going on. I mean, a lot going on, right? So, let's see. QX. Well, okay. So the really important news is QX is in Rome, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very important news. There's something else happening. Something else. Oh yeah, the raffle to get listed on MEXC, and that is actually moving along really nicely. We're almost there with the raffle, and on our side, we are working with MEXC to get things sorted and get going on the listing as soon as the raffle is full.
I think we're 11,000 ergo away. That's it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. It is great. And so we're going to have another great exchange under our belt for people to buy. Now, I have been talking to a couple of other exchanges, as I was been saying. Actually, I was talking to two, and now I'm talking to two more. Now, one of them apparently can actually do a no KYC registration for U.S. citizens and can trade up to, I believe, 3 BTC a day. So I'm working with that exchange right now. There's potentially something else I'll introduce for a raffle. It's a pretty popular exchange. I'd say it's about as popular as MEXC. And they are pretty popular in Asia as well as Europe. But one of my main kind of pluses here is that we are going to be able to have U.S. citizens buy ERG from the comfort of their homes.
Are you talking fiat on-ramp with the KYC?
So there is a swap. It's going to be a swap, yeah. So it's going to have to come from Bitcoin or stables. So there's no fiat on ramp, but there is going to be a U.S. But they can't take U.S. citizens to register. So U.S. citizens are going to be able to utilize the exchange.
So like how KuCoin used to work for us back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So again, that's something that I am just kind of wrapping up right now, and I will then be introducing for a raffle potentially. And so yeah, once all the details about all the different aspects of it, like market making and whatnot, are sorted out. So that's really exciting. I mean, from the other side, like I said, it's been mostly about listings. It's been mostly about kind of broadening the ecosystem. Also, of course, the final milestone for the Rosen Ergo Cardano bridge Fund 10 proposal was submitted. So we are good to go. And so we are actually going to start digging into the Fund 11 EVM bridge, which is actually we've already started working on the Rosen team has started working on, and maybe some of you have seen their socials that will, the web and where they basically catalog pretty much everything they've been working on. So really exciting, because just as we saw, all this traffic start coming in from the Cardano ecosystem into Ergo and back and forth, I believe, and again, I'm in complete agreement with Kushti on this. I really believe that our ultimate tier one exchange type of place will be Uniswap. Once we're able to bridge with EVM. I really think that, and I think that's going to be great. There's and the volume there is organic. So this is really exciting stuff. How about what have you been doing besides hanging out in Home Depot, Office Depot in New Jersey?
Eating too much. That's one of the things I've been doing.
Eating too much what?
French food and Italian food. And I want your opinion on this, Daniel.
Okay.
Who has a better cuisine?
So, okay. So here's my take on this. Overall, the different, the plethora, right? The plethora of dishes wise, I like Italian more. But with French, I really, really like Southern French food. Southern French food is great. Like if I had to pick French food that I like, Southern French food is my crack. How about yourself?
Yeah. I'd say Italian wins over France any day, at least from what I've experienced. We tried a bunch of things, and it wasn't the first time my spouse had been there either. So the consensus seemed to agree that Italy just has what it takes as far as that goes. I mean, it's not terrible. Don't get me wrong. Of course, it's great. It just feels like it's missing something. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, and I mean, French cuisine, it can be done very, very well. I mean, I've eaten some delicious French cuisine, but I'm just the type of guy who likes things big and sloppy, and big and sloppy, I think, is more of like the Italian way of food. Big sloppy portions of saucy, juicy stuff. That's what I like.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see what's happened in the SIGs this week. Canon got a proposal together, as most of you probably know, as a ask of integrating, or at least a proposal for the EF. So that's up in a Google Doc. I believe he shared that in the SIGs chat. I read part of it. As you said, you already spoke about the raffle, which was fantastic to get that out there and see that it was funded that quickly, at least partially funded that quickly. Amazing. But we can't lose steam. I'm going to try to tweet about it every day. And Yasha Black gave us some good tips on how to increase Twitter views. And he's doing it all for free, all for accolades, I guess. So fantastic. Really appreciate it, Yasha. What else? We have a front end being worked on for the Sigmanaut mining pool. And the idea is to write it. Well, the main idea is to have it as decentralized as possible. Okay. And how do you do that without Lithos? How do you do that currently with the tool set that we have? So the idea essentially was, let's only centralize, mining core running on the server that the miners are pointing to. Everything else we can kind of decentralize. That means no web server, nothing like that. So that's where the idea of, how do you pronounce it? M-Feral tokens came from, that we'd like to put this data on the chain, but it doesn't need to stay there for that long. So the overall idea for how to give a dashboard to the miners is one of our users in the mining channel Their name is Mark, I believe, is writing a Python script to actually have kind of a dashboard show you on your machine itself. So essentially, you download the Python script, you run it, you type in your address, and eventually it'll go to the blockchain and get the data that we're storing there for your specific miner that mining core server is posting. For right now, it's going to be grabbing from a secondary API hosting that I have that should be able to handle all the traffic once that happens. But that's the general idea. So he's got some. If anybody wants to hop on the Sig Mining channel and check it out, he's got some mock-ups of it that he's working on, and he's going to push them more, I think, today or tomorrow on it. And by that time, hopefully, I have the API in the back end for him so that he can actually grab the data. And then once we get from there, I wanted to try to see how these vanishing tokens that I spoke about in EIP 45 will actually look. And then hopefully we can dump user data to these tokens that expire after a week or 2 weeks or whatnot, so they're not dusting up their wallet with, 1,000 tokens, and we go from there. So that's Sig Mining. Pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. We're due for a block anytime now. Let me knock on wood. We should be getting every block every day and a half or so, almost 2 days. I think it's been a couple days, so we're running a little dry right now. What else? That might be all that I have on my mind there, Dan. Can't think of anything else.
Yeah, well, I guess that's all you could have on your mind right now, right? So, by the way, how are things going with the NFT XLV? Have you guys talked about that yet in the SIGs?
I missed the meeting last week, Dan. I was in mid-flight, so I did not get to attend. But it's on my. I know.
That's no excuse. I had meetings on the plane before, and in fact, I did an AMA from the plane before. You just don't know about it. Yeah, I'll let you find which one.
They don't give us good internet back in coach seats, Dan. You're probably in the lay flats in Delta One and the sleeper cabins.
Sort of, but still, it was on a plane. It was in midair. I actually, it's not easy to do because of the hum. So it's kind of like you're trying not to look like you're on a plane. But it's just like, okay, so I am not on a plane, but that humming is just a vacuum cleaner.
Mark also pointed out that I forgot to mention, Kushti's looking at kind of reevaluating the educational efforts. The idea is, Kushti's idea was essentially, how do we get more devs into the ecosystem? And he's under the belief that we do it through bolstering our educational materials so that it's easier for devs to catch on and learn Ergo script, and then potentially, direct that towards a hackathon to get devs actually building things. So there's talk about organizing that, what we have from Deco. I was going to start checking to see what went not wrong, but why Deco kind of, I know it's a bull market, but why Deco kind of backed away a little bit. I'm sure lack of funding and time commitments from teachers. So we can maybe learn from those complications that we had and reattack it and go at it again, kind of thing. So that's something that Kushti brought up in one of the chats today that I think is going to be on people's minds.
Yeah. All right. Let's ask some questions. Or answer some questions. Sorry, I'm going on 4 hours of sleep. So let's answer some questions. That's it. Yeah, that's the ticket. We're here to answer questions. All right. Let's see. Okay. QX, why do you look so sad?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I said like 3 times. I don't know. I didn't think I was.
All right. Okay. And Turkish cuisine, you just don't know? Yes, I do know about Turkish cuisine. I spent a month there last year, and so did Twitter spend that month there with me because I was posting photos of my Turkish breakfast like every day, torturing people like QX who are stuck in a supplies closet in New Jersey. Anyway, oh hey, QX broadcasting from a supplies closet in New Jersey. All right, let's see. Okay, so here's a this is a question about MEXC, and if the raffle gets filled early, can the raffle end early so as to get the listing sooner? Well, first of all, QX, can the raffle end early, or does it just run its course?
No, it has to run its course. It's a smart contract. It doesn't end.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. So it's it has to run its course. So you can't end it early. And even if you could, it wouldn't have much of an impact on how long it takes them. It takes them a little bit of time. It's an L1 integration. So a couple of days here and there wouldn't make much of a difference. So yeah, it would not make things go quicker.
I mean, if we had, let's say we, overshot the fundraising goal, and MEXC was like, "Oh, hey, if you don't have it to us by tomorrow, we're going to raise the price," or something like that. Perhaps we could find a whale that would escrow for us, essentially pay it and then swap it back. I'd hope we'd have somebody in the community that would do that for us, since it's going to the Sigmanauts wallet and not Cotillier's, because we know where that would go if it went to his wallet. But yeah,
booze.
But
booze.
yeah. And fine cuisine.
Oh yeah. Wendy Moon. Yes, I eat Indian food like at least 2-3 times a week. So yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to worry about that. All right. So let's see. Okay, what do you think MEXC will take to do their part of the work after the raffle is funded and payment is done? Well, I mean, it's kind of a standard thing for them. So, I mean, I guess as long as the contract is done correctly, and as long as the contract is formatted and signed and put together correctly, and as long as we get on the way and we actually have a schedule that we can adhere to and they can commit to, then yeah, I mean, I don't see anything stopping them from doing their part. I
mean, they already have UTXO chains on there, so it's not like it's a foreign thing to them.
Right. They listed Hosky, so they've worked with UTXO before, and well, other things as well, other UTXO stuff. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's pick a nice question. Let's see.
There's something about mining pool, right? Wendy Moon asked about hash bar.
Yeah. That's the one I'm looking for. Is the one that Wendy Moon asked about mining pools. Do you see it?
Yeah, scroll to the bottom and scroll up a couple clicks. It's above Mark Glasgow's last comment.
Who?
It's above Mark's second to last comment.
Who's Mark Glasgow?
Glasgow. Gow. Although he said he's in a field. He said he's in a field today, enjoying the sunshine and the picnics. So there might be.
Yeah, that's fake. That's fake. There's no sun in Scotland. I've been there.
That's
All
true.
right. Let's see. Wendy Moon asks, what sort of hash power would be significant for adding to Sigmanauts pool? I want to mine, but don't know if it will be too small of a hash rate to make any impact. So what do you think, QX?
We'll take what you got. Right now we have a couple people running about 3 gigahash and 4 gigahash each. And then we have a bunch of people. We have a 900 gigahash miner. We have a couple 700s maybe. And then I'm just running one card right now. I'm running an NVIDIA RTX 3090. So that's what, from like 200 something to 400 something hash, depending on what you're doing. So I don't think anything's too small as far as that goes. That's a point in the pool. We now have 2 ports. So if you're a major hash person, um, what was it, over 10, Luis Cheese said, then we have a port just for the high hash rate. And then we have the basic hash rate port as well. So we'll take both people now. And yeah, I think we range from anywhere from 10 or 11 gigahash to 14 gigahash right now. So every little bit helps. 100%. Don't be shy. Jump in the channel and we'll help you out if you get stuck. Right now, we're dealing with some latency issues. Somebody is across the continent from me is having a couple failed shares every once in a while during the evening. We're thinking it's network congestion and those kind of things. So we're working on perhaps putting it on a cloud-based server instead of running it out of my house. And we'll see how that goes. If that fixes it, it should. But yeah, come on, join in.
All right. Let's see. My girlfriend says you're on drugs. I'm telling her you're just tired. Okay. All right. Let's see. Where is there another nice question?
Bender wants to get you in the ring with BitBoy for some marketing. I'd pay to see that.
Let's see. Oh yeah. All right. So where was that? Yeah. Okay. It's Glasgow. Okay, Glasgow. All right. Yeah. I think we need to get Dan in the ring with BitBoy for marketing. I don't do coke. I don't like. Yeah. It would take enough coke to kill a rhino to be able to get into the ring with that guy, and I don't do it. Anyway, let's see. Can Lithos protocol development be helped, boosted, and released earlier than their current 2025 timeline? Lithos sounds like super interesting. It can make Erg top GPU mineable coin if done this cycle. What do you think?
I would push it. I think we saw what happened with the benefits of waiting for Rosenbridge to finish when they were ready. And I mean, we're not supposed to talk about price speculation, but look at the value that the community puts behind Rosen. It went up quite a bit and didn't really come back down. So that means that people value what the bridge is and what it can be. And we're just on Cardano at this point. So I would take the same mindset for Lithos. Let them take their time, let them build it, and it's going to be built better than anything else out there. Even if somebody comes along halfway through and says, I'm going to try to build something similar. And in the meantime, we'll have alternatives to limp us along essentially until, the SIGs mining pool. We're trying to get rid of the web servers at least and have a locally run dashboard and the data on the chain. So, there are intermediate things that'll happen in between, and we'll learn from that as well. And as some of Cheese is also the one, that is doing Lithos, but he's also the one that's writing the code for us for integrating storage rent into the SIGs mining pool as well. So once that's up, we'll be the first one that does that, and hopefully other mining pools will then take Cheese's code, because of course it's open source, and implement it to allow everybody to collect storage rent, and we'll go from there. So yeah, I wouldn't say to rush it at all. I'd say take your time. We had a great example with Rosenbridge.
All right. Okay. Well, so, okay. So we got a question. When is the next hackathon? When? Do you know?
No, I know there's talk of it in Whispering. So there was initially talk of proposing something that was hackathon themed. So instead of giving everybody kind of free will to do whatever they want, say, let's do this for a hackathon and have a fully finished product at the end. But that met some resistance and not in the spirit of hackathon, at least on Kushti's side, which I agree with him. and that can be more of a kind of a grant procedure if needed. But no, I know there's whispers of it. Angie just posted in chat about, hey guys, what's the thought? So we're on the cusp of figuring it out, I think, and hopefully announced soon.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's see. Um, let's see. Oh, okay. So here's a nice question from Augustus Kent. Is there any prospect of enticing projects that are built on other L1s like Ethereum to migrate over to Ergo for better features that Ergo offers? So, I mean, look, projects. Okay, so you have to look at projects and the way they make decisions in several ways. Number one, ecosystem, right? And this is something, or ecosystem size, right? And I know this is kind of like a painful thing for some people because they know where I'll go with this, but a lot of projects make the choice to be on Ethereum because it's Ethereum. Or it's Solana, right? They have large ecosystems. Or Cardano, Cardano's got a large ecosystem. But specifically, if we're talking about EVMs, if we're talking about ETH, then yeah, it's about accessibility, right? It's not even about the tech as much for many projects. And this is what I'm learning more and more and more as as we get closer with Palmyra to launching and all these different things, right? It's really just about access. Okay, so if you're an EVM, you can get more access to more listings, you can get more funding, you can get more exposure. You think you can get more exposure to more users, builders, whatever, right? So that's why a lot of projects make that decision, right? They say, well, it's easier to be an ERC20 token than it is to be its own, our own L1, or even to migrate to an L1 that is not Ethereum, right? Or that is not like, or one of the top 10s, right? But I think the prospect really lies in kind of the more refined our ecosystem becomes, the more refined the business case for the ecosystem becomes. And for example, for myself, of course, I love Ergo. I love the ecosystem, but by a good degree, my choice to use Ergo for Winter Protocol was made from basically two parts. Number one, it was a business decision. It's just cheaper to do it on Ergo. It's cheaper to do what I wanted to do with NFTs and with traceability on Ergo. That's number one. Number two, it's easier to do it on Ergo, right? Because of the ETXO architecture, it's easier. It makes more sense. It's actually it would be a lot more difficult to do on an EVM. Just because it doesn't have ETXO boxes, you can't do the same thing. So I think that more and more projects, as ecosystems like the EVM ecosystems, as they kind of get to a point of where they can't really scale to meet the demand, and this is going to get too expensive and too slow to build on them, projects are going to start, and they already have started looking for alternatives, and what are the alternatives out there? Well, the top alternatives are what, like if you're going to something else that's EVM with Solana, okay. I mean, what else? What else? There's not that much that's really going to has that oomph, So I think that sooner or later is basically going to start to become a business decision for many, and an architectural decision for many over actually ecosystem, because that ecosystem is not going to be sustainable because it's going to be too slow and expensive to operate in. And that's where I think that's what I think the prospect will be. What do you think, QX?
Yeah, that's a tough one, Dan. I think I spoke before of speaking to some people from the Ethereum chains, at least, and recognizing how difficult it's going to be to try to get something else in their head and some of their mindset other than let's keep pushing a bicycle with square wheels up a hill, kind of thing. Um, but that's my hope. I share those thoughts you have as far as what my hope is, that people will see at least Ergo and the UTXO technology as a much safer store of value. So my hope is that when people see that that's the case, they make their way over here and they start building more on this. And maybe in the short term it's just wrap tokens coming over, but I would hope in the long term it would be more than that in people building. But I think we're a long ways away from people even recognizing what the difference between something like Ethereum is and Ergo for the normal person, and why something like Ergo is going to be a safer store of value in my opinion than something where you can commit to a transaction and have it hijacked in the middle and have all your funds drained from your wallet, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. So here's a question from FC. So doesn't bridging to EVM open up all the token FOMO crap? Build on Erg and use tokens on EVM for raising funds, like Ethereum versus Ergo development. Okay. Well, I'll let you take this one first, QX, and I'll follow up.
I'm not sure what he means. Doesn't bridging to EVM open up?
I think I know, but okay. So let me try to answer this. Yeah, it's not very clear, but I think it's got a good point that needs to be addressing. What exactly would happen if you have so follow up on the convo that you just had. Okay, so basically about incentives on leaving EVM change for Ergo. So yes, I think that bridging to EVM will create more access to build on Ergo, and then I guess go to EVM to utilize, and to do fundraising or whatever. Yeah, you could do that. You could also do. You could also actually get listed. Some exchanges don't like to have wrapped assets. They don't list wrapped assets, but some do. And so you also have a lot more access to listings. You'll have a lot more access to EVM dexes. But essentially, I think it's actually a good thing. You could raise on EVM potentially. So it's not the first time this is done. Multi-chain raising, wrapped tokens. You go with various platforms. Some of them do. The IDO for Palm is going to be like this. We're going to use a wrapped asset and we're going to use a native asset. And we're going to use Rosen to bridge them. The same will happen with EVM assets. So you build on Ergo, you can raise on EVM, but it's going to have to go back to Ergo to be able to actually do stuff. So essentially, if it's part, if say for example, and it matters what your token does, right? It also matters, because if it's a currency. Right? If it's a currency of the ecosystem, then I guess you could just have different types of wallets and it can be utilized in different, EVM and Ergo and Cardano or whatever. But if it's something where it's actually being used as, say, like battle fees to run your protocol that is built on Ergo, then it's going to have to go back into Ergo. So then there's going to be that very interesting kind of pathway back. So it's going to be liquidity going back there just like what's happening with Rosen right now. I had a friend today reach out to me. He says, hey man, I got some RS ADA on Ergo, but now I wanted to move it back into Cardano, but I don't have any ERG. Can you send me some ERG? I'll send him some ERG to do the transaction, but there it is. There's demand. If you need ERG to do that. And so I think it's actually going to be a positive thing. And I think it is possible that it is going to kind of broaden up and open up the ecosystem for kind of more accessibility. What do you think, QX?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if Rosen's announced this yet. Maybe they have. I'll take a chance. Maybe I'll take the wind out of their sails by accident. But I think they're working on what you said earlier. They're working on paying a little extra, and when you bridge from Cardano to Ergo, and essentially pay like zero point 0.2 erg extra from Cardano, and you end up with a little erg in your wallet so that you can actually interact with the apps and that kind of thing. So I think that's something they're working on, and should have an update soon, if not already. Maybe I missed their tweet, maybe not. But yeah, and that made me think of something else, Dan, while you were talking. Um, how cool would it be if, Rosen in the future there's been talk about not just transferring tokens across, but transferring data across chains. So how neat would it be that you fundraise on Ethereum? So, create your little frog token, Moon Boy, Tom and Jerry token, get people happy, and then build on Ergo with its amazing tooling and security, and then utilize the bridge somehow to put data back on Ethereum so that people on Ethereum are interacting perhaps with some really basic smart contracts that maybe lock and unlock and those kind of things. But on the Ergo side, it's watching that and then performing actions on the Ergo side to transfer data to the Ethereum side. It sounds like a little bit of a runaround there, but I wonder if you could, bolster the security of things on Ethereum, that way. It'd be interesting. I know it sounds like duct tape and popsicle sticks, but yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, indeed. That was a thought. Indeed, it was a thought. All right. Yeah, so what do you think? Would open up interesting DeFi dynamics. Flash trading in EVM chains combined with SIG USD and SIG RSV shenanigans. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I think we don't even know what the heck you can do. That's the beauty about what creating these kind of things is you create them with one intent in mind, and even an open intent, and these things come out of the woodwork that you couldn't even imagine. So yeah, I think it's going to be really cool when we can cross these kind of things. Maybe get a different stable on Ergo Wrapped. That'd be very interesting to see how that behaved, and then lending it out and then duck pooling it and that kind of thing. It's going to be fun to see, that's for sure. I'm really excited about. We saw with Aneta, right? They have something like 4 or 5 Bitcoin that they've done through their initial bridge project to BTC. So I have really, really high hopes for Rosen when it comes to BTC as well, for that kind of thing. So especially because, right, you'll be able to go right from BTC to Cardano, skipping Ergo, or come right to Ergo with BTC. Same with Ethereum. So that'll be very interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Oh, so is DexiGold public testing starting today? You know?
I didn't think so. Let me look at the chat right now. I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about it. I know we've been testing privately for a bit, and I think Kushti last week took the changes to his UI devs, at least, to make some changes based on some feedback. So I don't think it's ready, but I could be wrong. I'm sure Mark Glasgow can correct me in chat if he knows.
Yeah, and he will. He will indeed. All right. Okay, so a very important DGen question. When BTC Bridge and EVM Bridge opening? Rose on Twitter announcing a lot of updates termed implemented. So 1 month, 2 month, 2 weeks. So realistically, I think it will take several months. There's quite a bit of work to be done. They have done quite a bit of work, but I think it's probably going to take a few months for this thing to really roll out. But EVM, I mean, I'm not even sure about the BTC bridge, but yeah, EVM, yeah, that will probably take a few months. So don't hold your breath, because unless you can hold it for a few months.
It's
Well,
one of those
yeah,
things. It's one of those things. It's not the outcome isn't a surprise, but the anticipation of getting to what you know is capable and possible is kind of the anticipation is tough. It's not like we're waiting for some big surprise. We know what's going to happen. We know the product is great. We know it's going to be successful as far as that goes. So we're just waiting for the time. But a little birdie just whispered in my ear that the dev has an update scheduled in 2 days for Dexy, where they resolve some issues related to fetching unconfirmed boxes. Additionally, they've included a cache manager in the update to reduce the load on both the local node and the Explorer. Oh, that's great. Less burden on the Explorer. So that's the only thing left. And then they should be able to have some public testing open. So could be a few days, could be less, could be a little more.
yes, sir. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So did we talk about education yet?
We did a little bit. We talked about a little bit about how they were, what's it called? How Christie was kind of digging up the question about how we bolster this up for moving forward and getting these things back on track. And Christie recognizes that education is a nice pathway into getting devs on board and in the ecosystem. So that was a priority that he was asking about that I think is going to be discussed more. Yeah. Yep. And I think I got a response. Yeah, I think I got a response from Cheese as well. Yeah, I think the consensus from Cheese at least is that it takes a lot of time for the educators to be building the classes and that kind of thing. So that's good feedback, and moving forward, that really should be accounted for. Educators' time as well as repayment, perhaps, whether it's a grant from the EF or the Sigmanauts, then so be it.
This feels like a personal AMA. Sorry, won't bother you guys again. Is it personal? I wouldn't take it personally.
He means like a one-on-one. He means like a personal showing.
I think he means you're getting personal, QX. That's what I think he means.
Does he?
Or she or they.
Shoot.
They. You shouldn't misgender.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So it does. It does. No, it's no problem. Good question.
John keeps asking a question about price and bear wet. Are you ignoring him?
Okay, let's answer a question about price. Okay. Does price matter or not? I don't understand. Does it matter to you? I mean, that's the bottom line. Does it matter to you? Like yeah, okay, it matters in some things, it doesn't matter in other things. Like I really don't think that price matters in a sense of where like how far the ecosystem can expand. That doesn't have as big of an impact as people think. And in fact, on the other hand, it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to get more people to FOMO into the chain because the price is pumping, but then when the price dumps, they're going to be out. So yeah, price matters, but it doesn't matter in the right places a lot of times. So I mean, does it matter to you? That's what it's about. If it matters to you, then maybe you like certain type of things in this space. To some people they like other things, like I don't know, something that's more specific to I guess well, I mean, okay, so I'll say this: price mattered in creating Winter Protocol on Ergo because it's cheaper to mint on Ergo than it is, say, on Cardano. However, with the way Ergo is designed, even if Ergo, it's so cheap to, in fact, the design of the blockchain, really, there is no minting fees, it's just the transaction fee. So the way the blockchain is designed, really, at that point, I mean, even if the price would did 10x, it still wouldn't matter that much for me. Still wouldn't matter that much for the protocol. I would not go somewhere else to do the protocol if it was just a straight business decision for me. So yeah, it's like I said, what does it matter to you? All right. All right. What about you, QX?
Cool. Oh, price. Personally, how do I answer this? Let's see. Yeah, it's not an insignificant factor. I'll say that. So yes. As far as I understand what you're saying, Dan, as in your business and how it utilizes a blockchain, that doesn't matter, right? You're still going to be writing NFTs to the chain to track your data and utilizing it that way. So who cares, right? I understand you're not using the chain based on price for the company that you're building. And you shouldn't have to worry about that. Like if you're in Ethereum, you have to worry about that, right? If congestion is there and you're trying to do transactions for a business that you're running, you may have to roll up your transactions or, wait till there's less congestion so you can actually make a profit. But you're utilizing Ergo specifically for that reason because you don't have to worry about that, which is great. So yeah, I think price matters to a lot of people for sure. It makes them feel like it definitely attracts new people, whether it be the right kind of people you want in the ecosystem for the long haul. It may mean that it attracts the people that then attract the other people, that then attract the staying power. That it's all part of the process that I feel. In the end's kind of justify the means. I know that there's a lot of talk that I see once in a while that says, "Oh, once Ergo hits X amount of dollars, this chat's going to be not the same anymore." And I mean, you can't have the best of both worlds there, so those kind of things are necessary evils not evils, but necessary steps that you need to go through to be able to have other people appreciate Ergo in a way that you do. So yeah, I think price has an influence there for sure.
So we got a counter from does core devs accept potatoes because he thinks that core devs only get paid in crypto. My core devs at Zengate get paid in fiat. So, I mean, if you pay your devs in crypto, I guess, yeah, it does matter because they have to cash out the fiat. If they don't have to cash out the fiat, then it doesn't matter if the buying power of the crypto they hold is still the same. So again, I mean, it's kind of it's a bit of a I guess a bit of a two-dimensional way of looking at it. It just depends on the situation. It depends on how your company is structured. Like, for example, the way my company is structured, I really should not be paying in crypto. Like I shouldn't be paying in crypto to make sure that I am compliant with regulations, with Irish regulations. So it depends. If you're doing just decentralized project and you're not really doing it from a company, just kind of doing it just in a distributed team of people coming together, and you're doing it all in crypto, and yeah, okay, price matters. But then again, look, I know some devs in the Ergo ecosystem that have built humongous things and that have never sold a single erg. So, I mean, does price matter to them? I mean, buying power matters to them. Spending power matters to them. Does dollar price matter to them? Probably not. Not as much as it does matter to somebody else.
Yeah, it's interesting too because you'll see a lot of projects pay out in what the future speculation of their token is. So you're not seeing, if you hire a dev, you might hire them and pay them in X amount of frog tokens because they may be worth $100 now, but the idea is that you're paying a dev based on potentially what it is. I've seen this before. I'm not saying this is everybody, but I've definitely seen that happen before. So in those instances, yeah, you can't have the best of both worlds. You're building a product and you're hoping that the price goes much higher so that you either get paid, you save it and pay it that much, or the person building the project is using that as an excuse to pay you less. Either way, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay, so how do you generate fiat if you have an NFT marketplace, for example? Okay, I'll tell you how I generate fiat with my NFT marketplace. It's called that's called Palmyra, because in a way it's somewhat an NFT marketplace. You take payments in fiat. And then you off ramp it or on ramp it into Ergo. You create an on ramp that processes the crypto and to a degree, right? Because so the way the tokenomics for Palmyra works is part of the transaction fee that people pay on the platform to do the trading actually gets transferred to the token stakers as rebates, right? And so at that point, it has to be converted into the token, but not all of it, right? So it's it just matters it depends on your business model how it works. All right. I mean, do you have anything to add to that, QX?
No, sir. Did Vero
right.
just ask if we like or hate each other? Is that still an issue, Dan?
Yeah. Do you love or hate me, QX?
Wait, but any healthy relationship has a little of both, Dan. I'll say that. So there's plenty of both to go around there, I would say. No, there's no hate here, Dan. I'm not sure why people think that. It's interesting that they read the dynamic between us as that.
Yeah.
I have fun with you, Dan. We have a lot of DMs back and forth. We've
done IHOP. Okay, we've done IHOP.
We did several times.
Yeah,
Dan sometimes sends me inappropriate pictures on DM. I haven't reported him to Ergo HR at this point, but I've been considering it.
Yeah, and then your inappropriate pictures are definitely very, very inappropriate. Just those.
No, I don't hate Dan.
That underwear is way too small for you. Ooh.
Hasnain asked if you're the bear whale, Dan. Last question. Are you the bear whale?
I asked, "Are you a whale, Dan?"
I think somebody asked if you were the bear whale too. I don't know if it was.
No, I'm not the bear whale. I'm also not a whale. I used to be, but I've been going to the gym for the past few months, so I'm not a whale anymore. I am just, a large tuna now.
An orca.
An orca. Yes, that's right. An orca. All right. And Bender says, hey, Ergo hash rate is moving up nicely over 18 THz. All right. It's
that's
nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. Good stuff. Good stuff.
18.4 terahash. Fantastic. Great.
All right.
Is that it, Dan?
Well, yeah. I think
I think that was a fun little fireside chat. I'm going to share it off so my voice was much lower and much more calm, Dan. I hope that helps soothe you and also the Ergo listeners here in the channel.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff going to be happening in the next week or two, next several weeks. We got more Rosen stuff happening. We got the listing happening. We got SIGs happening. We're getting ready for a couple of really cool events. And yes, I will be kind of giving more information about these exchanges as things progress. So I think we're moving along really nicely. What do you think, QX?
I think so too. And just the last thing to leave in everybody's memory is go out and donate to the Mexi raffle.
Yeah.
Let's get that puppy up to the goal and we'll push it through the finish line.
Yep. That's right. Oh, hey, QX, one last question. Can you get the guy in the back to wave?
Yeah, he's gone already. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you can't get him
Oh,
to
that
wave.
guy. No, I can't.
Yeah.
All right, Ergo on top, Dan. Let's kill this before we kill ourselves.
All right. All right. Well, hey,
Thanks,
thanks
everybody.
everybody for joining. And saying next week, same time, same place, same channel. Until then, have a good one. We'll see you later.
Ciao.